Okay, call this meeting of the Villa Park Village Board to order. Today is September 14th at 7 p.m. Clerk Konecki, could you call the roll, please?
Trustee Silella?
Here.
Trustee Kazone?
Here.
Trustee Murphy? Here. Trustee Patrick?
Here.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Here.
President Bolfus?
Here. Let's all rise for the pledge and then remain standing for a short prayer. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Wagner has a short prayer for us.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments on agenda items. If anyone has any comments on agenda items, number 5 through 8. Nobody signed up? No? Okay. And we'll move on to amendments to the agenda. Do any board members have any amendments? Seeing none, we'll move down to the consent agenda. 5A is the minutes from the board meeting held on August 24th, 2020. 5B is the bill listing for the weeks of August 24th, August 31st, September 7th, in the total amount of $1,674,880.70. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda? Trustee Wagner,
I'd like to make that motion.
do we have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll second that.
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. It passes, and the next item is 6A, which is the first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the village municipal code, establishing financial institutions. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Section 2-203 of the Villa Park Municipal Code defines that Villa Park Trust and Savings Bank is the depository for funds of the village. Villa Park Trust and Savings Bank is a defunct business. This ordinance establishes BMO Harris as the village's depository for funds and allows the corporate authorities to designate depositories for the village with approval of the village president in the future. Thank you, Your Honor.
This being just the first reading, we don't need a motion, just for discussion. If there's any questions on the motion, we're cleaning up the village code a little bit to take care of some of the older language. So, if you have any questions on this from the board, Trustee Murphy?
Yes. Do we have the flexibility to potentially modify the verbiage to read the approval of the village board as opposed to just the president?
Attorney Orr.
The point of doing this is so that it doesn't have to come back to the board when there is a need to transfer. I mean, if you disapprove, I understand. But the point of this is to allow the professional staff, i.e. the finance director and the manager with the approval of the mayor, to get it done without waiting for a council meeting. It's not that much of an authority because usually it's a financial institution that serves the village best in terms of interest rates, etc.
Thank you.
Since this is just a housekeeping ordinance, can we make this a final reading? Can we can just ask that to be?
We can do that.
Certainly can.
We can do it. There was a method to do that. We
Right,
just changed that.
A motion to waive the need for second reading and adopt at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the second reading and make this the final reading of this ordinance.
Okay. Do we have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll second that.
Any questions on that or comments? Okay, then the motion is to waive the second reading and adopt this in the first reading. Seeing no comments, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Okay, trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
Yes.
trustee Salella,
Yes.
trustee Kazone,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Okay, so that passes. We'll move on to number 7A, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa
Did you
Park.
take the
Oh,
vote on the prime motion?
we weren't going to vote on the prime motion.
No, because this would be final. We didn't take a vote on the actual passage of the ordinance.
We took a vote just on to make this the final reading.
Right, but it's on the agenda so that you can take the vote, do
Oh,
it
so
now
that's
and
the
not come
new,
back.
do we have to have another vote?
Correct, on the final reading and then it's done.
Okay, all right. So this is, we haven't done this before, so
Correct.
we just changed this recently,
Correct.
so.
You need
Okay.
another
We need a
motion?
motion, another motion, yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this ordinance of section 2-203.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll second it.
Okay, now any questions? And we have another roll call vote.
Okay, trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
Yes.
trustee Salella,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Kazone,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Yes, okay, now it passes. We'll move on to 7A, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, establishing temporary executive powers pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 3, Section 8-301 to 307 of the Villa Park Municipal Code and 65 ILCS 5/11-1-6 of the Illinois Municipal Code and 20 ILCS 3305-11 of the Illinois Emergency Management Act. This ordinance extends the temporary executive powers contained in ordinance number 4160, approved by the village board on August 24th, until such time that the village board can reconvene in open meeting. Do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Wagner,
I'd like to make that motion.
do you have a second? Trustee
Second.
Ciela? Okay, any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Kazone,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
Yes.
trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Salella,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Yes, that passes, and we'll move down to 7B, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the village to borrow funds from the Water Pollution Control Program in the amount of $2 million for combined sewer separation improvements to be completed as a part of the Maple Area Improvement Project. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Maple Area Improvement Project is proposed in the village's capital improvement plan, also known as the CIP, and includes the separation of approximately 5,100 feet of existing combined sewer main. Funding for this combined sewer separation effort is a low-interest loan offered through the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency's Water Pollution Control Loan Program. This ordinance authorizes the village to borrow funds up to $2 million to fund the construction oversight, and contingencies of the combined sewer separation improvements as part of the Maple Area Improvement Project. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Ciala?
Second.
Second, okay. Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
I just have a question. On us approving this borrowed fund, that means that project can go forward, right? There is no more funds that will be needed to move it forward?
I think that's right. That's correct.
That is correct? Okay.
Yeah, the rest of the funds will come from our village.
Right, I just want to
Okay.
make sure this is the last bit we need so that project can move forward for the people at Maplewood.
Now, it's not, this is still an application for the funds yet, so the funds haven't
Right,
been approved.
once the funds come in, though, we
Yes.
can move forward.
Yes.
This is the last bit of the funds that we will need to get that project to move forward.
The last funds that we're going to be borrowing, yes.
Okay.
Yes, Trustee Wagner?
Making the assumption that this goes through, and we get the loan from IEPA, construction would be in 2021, is that correct?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes, Manager Keener, would you be kind enough to share with myself and the residents a reminder of how we plan to pay that back and over what timeline?
Manager Keener, would you like to answer that?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, the IEPA loan, if approved, would be a 20-year loan with an interest rate of around 1.5%, and the repayment stream of revenue would be the non-home rule utility sales tax approved by referendum in 2017. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Cielo?
Will this encompass the concerns that some residents had voiced in past meetings on Maple Avenue that they brought up to our attention?
Well, their concern was that the project wasn't moving forward.
Right.
Yeah, and we mentioned at the time that this is one of the steps we had to take. So
Correct.
yes, this is moving it forward one more step.
To include some of the needed repairs to affect them?
Yeah,
as far
the
as-
sewer
oh,
separation and the
Okay.
storm sewer separation.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, anyone else? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote?
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Salella.
Yes.
Trustee Kazone.
Yes.
President Volfus.
Yes. That passes, and we'll move on to 7C, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending ordinance number 4153, approving outdoor restaurant service and alcoholic liquor sales in response to the Phase 3 of the Governor's Restore Illinois plan in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. At a special meeting in May of this year, the village board approved ordinance 4153, which approved outdoor restaurant service and alcohol liquor sales during Phase 3 of the Governor's Restore Illinois plan in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Among other things, this ordinance allowed businesses in Villa Park to resume operations and serve alcohol to patrons outdoors with certain specifications as outlined in the temporary outdoor dining and alcoholic liquor guide. Ordinance 4153 has a sunset date of October 31st, 2020. As the state of Illinois has not entered into Phase 5 of the governor's plan, businesses in Villa Park have requested an extension of the temporary outdoor seating arrangements. The proposed ordinance amends the sunset date of Ordinance 4153 to December 31st, 2020. Furthermore, it removes the appended temporary outdoor dining and alcoholic liquor guide, allowing it to exist independently of the ordinance so that permitting requirements such as the installation of walls and heat sources within outdoor tents can be revised as necessary. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Patrick? Second?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
I have a question. Do we have ordinances in state right now for putting heaters in tents for safety issues? Do we have those in
I don't think that's
set?
current.
Because to me, that would be a safety issue. I don't know if the,
They're not
I know
in
the
the,
chief
they're
and-
not in the current one.
Correct. Are we going to have them put in effect if we approve this so that we have some safety issues on it?
Manager Keener's raising his hand. So.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we've consulted with the fire department, and Deputy Chief Stapleton has given us some language to place into the dining guide, which Economic Development Director Burke is working on. So presently, the only heaters that would be allowed inside an enclosed tent would be an electric heater. No gas heaters would be allowed due to carbon monoxide, the possibility of fire. And the dining guide will also address sides being placed on the tents as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
So we're going to, we would be updating that
Yes.
proposal that we put to put safety features in there for heaters to be put in the sides down, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of concerned.
Trustee
It's not
Kaz-
stated that way now.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
that. Trustee Kazone?
The original ordinance, we had in there an 11 o'clock closing time. Didn't we do away with that? So it's normal closing times now?
We go,
what we are doing here, if I might address you, Mayor and the board, is that we are authorizing the village president to amend the dining rules for the very reasons that, for the very questions that you're asking. Because if there are heaters to be permitted, they must meet fire code. If there are, what was your question?
The closing time at 11.
Closing time, which could become earlier as the fall comes into play. So the idea is to allow the village president to adjust these dining rules. So you're giving the village president that power. Also because, for all we know, and we know our problems with the county right now, we need to give the village president the power to shut it off if that's what immediately mandates, as opposed to waiting 2 weeks for a village board meeting. So what we're trying to do is, you've all had an outline, you have specific questions, you will always be advised of what we're doing, but we have to create a situation where the village president can immediately respond to whatever directives we either get out of the governor's office, to directives that we get out of safety issues and safety measures.
Health Department.
Health Department, the whole 9 yards. However, you will be informed as if there's any changes to the dining guide. Is that okay?
Okay,
Okay.
Good.
thank you.
As the board knows, I generally ask their opinions on
Yeah.
things like that, so. Trustee Murphy.
Is there a permanent outdoor dining guide that's
It's the same
independent?
guide that we had in October, we did in May, we went through October. That's the dining guide. There's no other dining guide.
Okay, I thought perhaps there might be one with temporary, because it talks about the restrictions, permitting restrictions, that perhaps need to be different in our temporary environment than would be the case in a permanent environment. So I thought perhaps there might be two different sets of guidelines.
No,
Same.
just that temporary.
Okay.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, that passes. We'll move down to 8A, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a contract with Brothers Asphalt Paving, Inc. of Addison, Illinois, for construction of the Plymouth Street Improvement Project, Villa to Ardmore, in the amount not to exceed $762,561.18. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Plymouth Street Improvement Project is proposed in the village's capital improvement plan and includes roadway reconstruction, roadway resurfacing, adjustment of drainage structures, sidewalk removal and replacement, parkway restoration, and other related and incidental work efforts. The project was proposed as an alternate to the 2020 Street Improvement Project. After the village received a $733,000 Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity DCO grant, Plymouth Street needed to be separated from the 2020 Street Improvement Project so that it would go to construction as a standalone project. This resolution approves a contract with Brothers Asphalt Paving, Inc. of Addison, Illinois, in a total amount not to exceed $762,561.18. Funding for this project is budgeted in Street Improvement Account numbers 60-502-10-299 and 60-502-03-299, and will be reimbursed by a state grant administered by DCEO. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone?
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Wagner?
I'll second the motion.
It's not too often that we get a project that this scope is only going to cost us about $30,000. So that's why this got moved up. So any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, that passes, and we'll move on to B, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an engineering service agreement with Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. of Itasca, Illinois, for Phase 3 construction engineering for the Plymouth Street Improvement Project, Ardmore to Villa, in the amount not to exceed $72,788. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The scope of work of the Plymouth Street Improvement Project includes roadway reconstruction, roadway resurfacing, adjustment of drainage structures, sidewalk removal and replacement, parkway restoration, and other related and incidental work efforts. This resolution will approve a contract with Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. for Phase 3 construction engineering of the project. Funding for the construction engineering work is budgeted in the Street Improvement Fund referendum and the Street Improvement Fund non-referendum, account number 60-502-03-292 and 60-502-10-292. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Murphy?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker?
My understanding is that Civil Tech is the one that did Phase 2 for this also. So are we just carrying them over? Is that
Yes.
correct? Because they're the ones that did Phase 2, right, for Plymouth
Yes.
Street? Okay.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, that passes. Okay, we'll move on to item number 9, which is the public comment on non-agenda items. Clerk Kornecki, do we have anyone signed up?
Yes, Robert Smith regarding Charles Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
I can remove my mask, right, or lower it?
Yeah, people at home want to hear you.
Sure. Okay. First of all, my name is Robert Smith. I live at 137 North Charles Avenue. My wife, Cal, and I have been residents there for 20 years. And, I want to thank you straight up for allowing me to address you tonight regarding that section of street. I've been hearing a lot of talk about road improvements. Well, I got to tell you, I'm a little concerned about our road. The section of road, if you're not familiar with it, is a 2-block section of North Charles Avenue from St. Charles to Oak Street to the north. I got to ask, has any of the trustees been down that road? Have you walked it? Not driven it, walk it.
Yeah, I haven't walked it.
Please walk it. I ask that you do that because we walk it every day. It's in such a bad condition. This is my curb from my front of my house. That's the condition we live with. And I'm lucky. I only pick up about a half dozen of these out of my front yard every spring from the plows and so on. The road it's been in need of repair for probably 30 years from some people I've talked to on our street. Recently, I've heard there's a lot of chatter going up and down saying it's not getting done this year when I was told it was going to be done. Is that true?
Why don't you finish all your comments?
I'll finish it. So I'm here tonight, one, to ask why it's not getting done, if it is. If it's going to get done, please update us. We haven't had an update probably since June or July on that project. Now, it might be in the minutes. I hear a lot of approvals. I hear a lot of streets. I hear a lot of money changing hands, but I don't hear Charles Avenue. I did talk to the Director of Public Works, Streets Department. I guess it's in the hopper for bidding. Construction documents, I guess, are done. I want to know why it's not getting executed. We've been very patient. We have 36 neighbors up and down the street. And I'm not the only one. They don't know I'm here tonight. I'm not speaking for them. I'm just speaking for myself. I'd like to get it done. It's in such bad condition, I can't even ride my motorcycle down it. It's that bad. And that's why I'm asking, please go look at it. Potholes that haven't been filled, because there's no point in doing it. I don't see the dollars being expended. I see it to the north, south, east, and west of me. And I think the breaking point was seeing Vermont being torn up and reconstructed, and I can't get my 2 blocks done. I've been very supportive, very, very patient. I'm very familiar with the challenges the board faces. I've sat in those seats. I spent decades in a boardroom. And I know what it takes. I know there's challenges to it. But I'm asking this board to please move this thing up. It was in need 5 years ago. It hasn't gotten any better. The funding, whatever the issues are there, I wish I knew more about it. You know, but I trust you guys. I trust the staff. It's their job. I'm looking to get it done. I'm glad it was addressed at the committee levels, the safety levels. You have a committee of traffic safety and roads. Went through that, I'm sure. This has been out there for 5 years now. Things are getting done, but when is it our turn? We understood it was this summer. It's fall.
Manager Keener, I know we've had some work on that, so maybe Michael wanted to explain it, or
Yes.
Director Graham? Have a seat.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to ask one other thing. I'd like to request a 15-minute time slot at the next board meeting to do a presentation and invite my neighbors here.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out. Let's hear the reply first, and we'll see what we do with that.
Yes, thank you, President. And to address Mr. Smith's comments, Charles Avenue is ready. It was ready for bid. It was pulled due to financial concerns earlier this year. I believe the original plan was to seek an IEPA loan because there was a water main replacement and a sewer separation project. And talking with staff originally, the EPA says you cannot combine both water and wastewater loans into one loan. Therefore, we had to come up with additional funding out of reserves, and then with the financial situation that we've occurred with some of our other projects, we just didn't feel there was enough reserve to cover the cost at this year, and so it's planned to begin probably at this time we move into the budgets to review and get it ready to go for next construction season.
So the answer is, we got it all set, it's all ready to go, but the problem is with the COVID-19 and our budget constraints now, we've taken that one off of the list for this year. So it'll be on next year's. So that's, you know, we don't know where we're going to be with finances. We're having quite a short fall. So unfortunately,
My request for a 15-minute presentation, and October 28th.
well, your residents are welcome to come on a non-agenda item, and they can make their comments at that time. There's always time for public comment like you're doing tonight.
Well, I want to be a partner. I want to be an adversary first.
Mm-hmm.
Say that, express my concerns. It's risen to a level that it's unacceptable. And again, just speak for myself. The talk on the street is escalating every month. Frustration's out there, it's percolating, I think it's better to address. And I'm sorry not to talk about that.
Well, you first you have to come back up to the microphone. So.
Yeah, again, I apologize for venting a little bit. But like I say, it's been 20 years. It should have been probably, in my observations, probably addressed 30 years ago. But it hasn't. So, but that's the past. You know, we thought this bond issue is going to address the financial concerns, regardless of the COVID. This is general obligation bonds, and what I saw in the project profile for Charles Avenue stated nothing about sales tax or anything that could affect the COVID, though there are some sales tax factor that addresses R&M annual expenses for the, at least that's what I gleaned off of what I picked up this afternoon. So, but it said nothing about, you know, it said the bonds were there, the fees that's from water, sewer, and the others. And it's nice to know you guys are applying for grants, low interest loans, whatever it might be. So I support that. But that could have been done, that could have been in the pipeline 6 months ago and not having to wait another year to address it. So I've done these projects bigger than it takes to dig a street up. So I know what it takes. I know the mechanics of municipal budgeting, project administration, and so on. The bidding process, the whole 9 yards. I've done it. I had 40 years in the field. decades in the boardroom. So I'm not unfamiliar with what it takes to get a project online and to final ribbon cutting. So, again, I'd like to at least show, for the record, what the condition is that we got to live with for another year. And I want you to hear from my neighbors, too. So that being said, 15 minutes is all I ask.
Well, like I said, they come and non-agenda items, they each get 3 minutes, so I'm sure you could get through the 15 minutes with no problem, so.
And then I hope everybody takes a walk down Charles Avenue. This is what it looks like. I could have brought a wheelbarrow, but then I felt bad about it. I really cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Dump it on the front steps. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, I have no one else.
Clerk's report.
Yes, I do want to mention a couple of things. One is, as the local election official for Villa Park, I just want to let people know, kind of remind them that early voting locations will open October 10th through November 2nd, and we'll be talking more about that. People can look that up, anyone can, on DuPage County Election Commission, but we'll be announcing that next couple meetings, exact locations, like in Elmhurst. That's our closest one. Generally, early voting, Elmhurst City Hall, and there's also Addison. But we can go into that a little bit, as we go on. But I do want to mention we do have the consolidated election coming up, which is next April 6th, and for those people that are interested in running, we have it'll be the 3 trustees term is up, the village president, village clerk terms are up. And so if anybody wants to run for something like that, you can get petitions. I will be putting the packets together, and the first day to circulate to get signatures is September 22. Now, I will be preparing packets, and they'll be available on the 21st. In the manager's office. If anybody wants to come in to get a packet, they can take a packet and sign in. I have a sign-in sheet next to it, so I know how many packets are going, if they're actually going to residents of the village. And I think that's about all I'm going to say right now. I'll keep you updated. The filing is not till December 14th, that Monday, until the following Monday, the 21st, and so I'll have plenty of time to remind people. You do have to, however, get the economic interest form filed with DuPage County by November 23rd. So that's a deadline. If you don't get it in by the 23rd, it doesn't matter what you have filled out, your candidacy will not go forward. I will not be able to put you into the approved candidate list. So just information, President Bolthus, and we'll give more as we go along. Thank you.
Okay. The trustees report. We'll start on my right, Trustee Patrick.
Thank you. Just really quick, I know that the village has a fishing derby coming up pretty soon, and just speaking from experience, it's going to be at West Terrace Pond, and there are quite a few whoppers in there. We caught about a 5-pound bass a couple months ago, so there are fish in there. So if you are interested in joining up for the fishing derby, take a look at the website for Parks and Rec. And then lastly, again, I just want to say thank you to our first responders, our police department, and our fire departments for doing such a great job, especially in these trying times. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Justice Yella?
Yes, I'd like to know if we can get a brief light update on our road projects and our sewer water projects that are out there right now. Just a light overview, see where we're at, if we're on time with the construction.
Yes, so currently right now we have Esther Myrtle project in Euclid on the east side of town. That one is getting close to wrapping up. They were planning to pave the final course last week. However, rain pushed it back, so it'll probably be the late part of this week to put the final surface on that one, and then some landscaping to finish up that project. So in the next 2 weeks, the Esther Myrtle Euclid area should be completed. With the Streets 2020 improvements, obviously, as Mr. Smith stated earlier, they're up on Vermont doing removals, and from Vermont, they're supposed to be moving into Park Avenue. So Park Avenue will probably be getting started here, hopefully in the middle of next week, towards the end, as they roll from the removal crew from Vermont back down to Park, and then onto the alleys. And that one's scheduled to be completed by the end of October, is the time frame for that project. The Yale project, the roadway portion has been completed. Right now, we're working with the railroad to secure the permit to complete the remainder of the project, which is water main underneath the Canadian National Railroad line to the north. As we get that permit approved from the railroad, that project will be wrapping up, as they have a few weeks of work to be completed to drill that line underneath the railroad. Michigan Avenue, they're currently finishing up the underground. And then they'll be getting, I believe they also began pavement removal process last week. So they're moving forward with that. And then that project also has a completion date later into the middle, towards the end of October. And so they are working towards that project. And I'm trying to think if I have any other projects going on. We have several projects in the queues and different stuff. So, and then there will probably be, we also have probably one little outstanding project that has been here before I started, which was the patching project. And crews my staff's identifying additional locations. If you drive down Washington, you'll notice several of those spots have been saw cut for a while. We'll be adding additional locations and working with the contractor to complete the patching project for this year. And if there's any other projects I missed, I apologize, and I can bring you up to date on any of them.
Thank you.
Yep.
I also would like to see if I can get a update on some of our vacant businesses right now, on possible prospective renters, buyers that have been hanging out there. None that are current with possible contracts or whatnot, but some of these buildings that are still vacant and have been vacant for some time, if we have anybody that's interested in filling them.
Do you have any certain locations, or?
Well, let's start with the old Benvenuti's, 123 St. Charles Road, the restaurant, for example. There's businesses like that have been sitting, and I see no movement on them. Not to mean that there is none in the works. It just, I don't see anything happening, and I'd like to know if there's possible pending projects that are going to fulfill those vacancies.
So do you have a sort of an update on what the interest has been in Villa Park for businesses and the general?
You don't have to go through each business that's out
Yeah.
there. I'm just kind of a light overview to what's going on out there.
Yeah, there are businesses that are looking for storefronts. I've put them in contact with several of our vacant storefronts. Ross Dress for Less is moving forward in the Villa Oaks shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some of the other vacant ones. Here to Stay, we've had some interest in that building. Are there any others specifically that you're looking at?
Not specifically, I'm just general overview of the town. I see vacancies, and I'm just wondering if we're advertising, are we pushing, are we showing it's a great place to have your business? I mean, are all those steps in place right now?
We do. We have available sites database on there. Plus, I'm in contact with developers through the International Council of Shopping Centers. So we are getting the word out about our available spaces.
Okay.
Right now, though, it's difficult, though.
Yeah, well, I understand. Okay, thank you.
The only calls I get are for gaming establishments.
Yeah.
I get lots of those, once a week. So,
Show them that restaurant down on St. Charles Road, they can have at it.
Trustee Kazone.
It's got a couple of things. We have a young man in Villa Park. His name is Blake Kuma, and he was looking for something during COVID to help businesses in Villa Park. And he started making wooden oven grabbers, and he raised about $1,100, which he's going to donate to Han O'Henry's, the barbershop on Ardmore and Park Avenue. Because of this, the Community Pride Commission decided they'd like to honor him and show him a little respect and to congratulate him. So this Friday, at 4:30 PM at Hannah Henry's. They're gonna have a little presentation for him, give him a little plaque. But I think he's like 12 years old, 13 years old, and he did a great job, just wanted to do something to help the town. So this Friday at 4:30 PM at Hannah Henry's, Blake Kuma is gonna get a little presentation, show his, the town's respect for what he's done. And one last thing, police department held their tip-a-cop last Friday at Fuel on Kenilworth and or on Central, and it was a really nice event. A lot of Villa Park police were there, and they were donating or trying to get money for the Special Olympics. I think they did a great job. I'd like to thank Chief Lay. I think he did a great job getting everybody together, and fire department guys were out there, and so it was really nice event that they held. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Murphy?
Yes, I just have a question or comment. I'd like to piggyback off of Trustee Salella's road project discussion. I'm hoping, it's my understanding that we have timelines that we negotiate with the contractors to ensure that these projects get completed in a timely manner. I'm hoping that we can check these contracts, and if it's not integrated in them already, include a clause that commits them once a road is torn up, it will be worked on and completed within a specific acceptable duration. I'm seeing several roads this summer that have been torn up with no one working on them, and we've discussed this before, and a little bit of a short surplus, too many projects and not enough workers. But I would like to see them commit to not tearing the roads up until they're ready to work on them and complete them. One example would be Michigan and School Street has been torn up for quite a long time, and every time you go over that bump, there's been no one out there to do any work for a significant period. They're out there now, but it's been under construction and torn up for weeks, if not longer. So if there's any way that we can integrate a clause, I understand, I'm sure it's more cost effective and easier for them to tear them all up first and then go back and start working on them, but it sure leaves them torn up for an extended period of time. That's all I have. Thank you.
Trustee Tucker?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback, I brought the flyer on Kevin, about the fishing derby Saturday. I know there's a lot going on Saturday in the village, but this is a great opportunity for your kids from 9 to 12. And as he stated, there's fish in that pond. So there's a big opportunity to get the big fish story out. So I did put I do have the website on there, and you do need to register by this Wednesday, the 17th. So don't delay if you want to do it. You have to be registered by the 17th to do it. You can't just show up on Saturday morning and hope to do it. You do have to be registered, and the registration is on the Villa Park dump, so www.invillapark.com. You can also get it off of the Park and Recreation website. If you're not a website person, you can make a call. They'll also answer your questions at 630-834-8970 if you have any questions. So take an opportunity of that. This is one of the great events that they have going on. Also look at the Park and Rec website. I know with the pandemic, a lot of things have been canceled, but they do have a lot of things going on. There will be more information on, they've got a Halloween box that they're putting together that will come in effect in October. Seeing we don't quite know yet what the state's going to decide to do on trick-or-treating. So do look into the website. There's a lot of things going on, believe it or not, for the kids. Thank you.
That's it?
That's it.
Trustee Wagner?
Thank you, President Bolfus. I just have a couple things. First off, I just want to remind residents that Spring Sweep, the fall edition of Spring Sweep, will be this coming Saturday, September 19th, from 9 a.m. to noon, here along Home Avenue. Home will be one way only, going from west to east. So if you're dropping off material, you'll have to enter off of Harvard. And of course, there'll be folks there directing traffic. Just, we're going to go quickly through the list of groups participating. Working Bikes will be collecting bikes. Scarce will be collecting gently used books, hardcover books, paperbacks, etc. Simple Recycling will be collecting used clothing, shoes, and housewares. There'll be a station to collect discharged fire extinguishers. The VFW will be collecting distressed flags. The Lions Club will be there collecting used eyeglasses, hearing aids, ink cartridges, cell phones, keys, variety of other things. Interstate Battery will have a pallet there that they will be collecting lead acid batteries. Royce Rom, of course, will be collecting, they'll be disposing of fluorescent bulbs and household batteries. Earth Paint will be collecting paint, and there's a cost for that. If you go to the village's website, you can see that. And then, of course, electronics recycling, and then final station document shredding. And if anyone is interested in volunteering, we'd certainly accept additional help. So, looking forward to that event. I'm sure it'll be just as successful as last year. Just want to mention that, just want to say thank you to Tammy Hensley, who resigned her position on the library board, and congratulate Jennifer Hovanek, a resident who was appointed to fill that position. She is a librarian at another library system, but it's a great addition to the library board. While I was at the library, I did pick up a copy of their strategic plan, and this is a great document, very interesting to see all the things that the library is doing. If you're not aware of it, it's really intriguing. The different outreaches that they have to different parts of the community. There's copies available at the library.
I think it's on your website, too.
Yeah, yes it is. And just to dovetail what the clerk said, the library is doing voter registration. They're assisting with voter registration. And I think that closes out 28 or 30 days before the election. I did speak with Janet Jackson, who is the president of the Villa Park Junior Women's Club, and she noted that their main fundraising event, which is Trick or Trot, a very fun event, will not be held this year. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be asking folks to maybe video a run or send a photo of them in a costume, and more details will be forthcoming about that. But they're looking for some other way to raise funds so they can fund the scholarships they provide for young women at Willowbrook High School. And I just want a little sad note here that I wanted to mention. Pam Hole, who was a longtime member of the Traffic and Safety Commission, longtime member of the Villa Park Garden Club, passed away recently, and it was kind of a sad occurrence. And just lastly, courtesy of our Villa Park Historical Society, I've got some interesting facts I wanted to mention. On September 12th, 1914, William H. Calhoun was elected the first village president. Interesting item. On September 17th, 1917, Ardmore was renamed the village of Villa Park, and the first post office was established. So just some interesting facts provided by the great folks at the Villa Park Historical Museum. And something I'd like to request, and I realize that this is kind of impromptu, but I'd like to, maybe if we can get a report from staff on how the transition is going to express pay for utility bills. I've heard that some folks have had some difficulty with that. I realize that's something we can't get a report on this evening, but I'd like to hear some additional information about that.
Maybe you put together a little sheet for us.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
And that's all I have. Appreciate it.
Okay. I just have a couple items. First off, The census is winding down. I think we only have a few more weeks for you to fill out your forms and send it in. I know the door knockers, I'll call them, are going out, and they're calling on residents that haven't filled out the form, but it's very important to not just the village, but the school districts and everybody that we get an accurate count as we possibly can. So appreciate everybody who's already, it only takes 15 minutes to do it on the computer, or you can do it over the phone, or you can do it by mail. But if you got that form laying around at the house and you haven't done it yet, please send that in. So, the other thing I want to talk about is COVID-19. Had the Zoom meeting today with the DuPage County Health Department, and as you all probably already know, our area has gone from blue to orange, which is the next level down, where the positivity rate has gone up. So it's really, the rate went up, but it's we're going backwards on that. The new rate for DuPage County is 6.5% positive. We were a few weeks ago at 3.5. So it has gone up substantially. They're coming up with about 112 positive cases per day. And but fortunately, the cases are going up, but the hospital admissions have stayed level. So that's, hospital admissions is another one of the points which they look at to see if our what level of our we're in now, like orange. If we went up more, we'd be up in a higher Keller level. The majority of the increases in the positivity rate are 20 to 39-year-olds. And then the next one down is 15 to 19-year-olds. They're the second highest rates. And then below that is 5 to 14 years old. So it's not just the older people anymore. The highest percentage of increase, the fastest increasing age group is 20 to 39 and 15 to 19. So we don't want to get any worse, because we don't want to go back to lockdown. Please be careful. Follow the rules. Wear your mask, wash your hands, watch your distances, and just don't get into a situation where you possibly could catch COVID from somebody you're around with. So let's get the rate back down again so we can hopefully get this behind us sooner than later. So, and seeing that the clerk brought up the election and the petitions coming up, I just let everybody know that I will not be running for re-election as president. So anybody who wants this job, you're welcome to get your petitions and go out and get your signatures. So after 14 years up at the board level here, it's time to be able to take a winter vacation and go away for a while and do some traveling. So
You will be
while we can. So with that, I don't have anything else. We'll move on down to the manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have one item. There's been quite a few questions about what the village will be doing for Halloween. And so if you've kind of watched some of the news lately in the state of Illinois, the IML has asked for assistance from the Illinois Department of Public Health and guidance for the Halloween activities. And so most of the municipalities within Illinois are anxiously waiting for some guidance, either through the Illinois Department of Public Health or DuPage County Public Health as well. Thank you,
I
Ann.
talked to the Department of Public Health, DuPage, today, and they had been in contact with the Illinois Department of Health, and then they were in contact with the governor, so it all goes downhill. They told us that they should have a response from the state sometime this week about Halloween, so we'll see how it goes. Anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn? Trustee Kazone?
Mr. President, I'll make that
Do
motion.
I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Wagner, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With that, we're adjourned. We'll be back on the 28th.